Recording in progress. Admit, admit. And you guys here on Instagram, I'm gonna be here just a second, okay? If you wanna continue watching this, click this link here on the pinned comment. I look better on Zoom because there's a little filter on Zoom. Hey Chrissy, how are you, my love? Is that Fabienne on iPhone 33? I think it is. I
How are
think.
you?
Hello, my loves. How are y'all doing? Let's wait for some
Fantastic.
other ladies to get in here. Ba-ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, bum. Just so you know, Sonia, I can't wait to see you, Sonia. So close. So I'm gonna be talking to Zoom, Instagram. If you want to keep talking to me, go to this link right here. I'm gonna leave here for like about 5 more minutes and then you can hop on Zoom. So, ladies, we're gonna keep waiting a little bit for more people to join. I don't know who's joining, but we're gonna talk. I have a mic. Can you hear me?
There's a link. I don't see a link on the chat.
Yeah, there's more people here. Let me see if I can open the chat. Hello, ladies. Welcome. Ooh, so many people joining. I love this. I love this. It makes me so happy. So happy because the whole purpose why I'm doing this is so we can start developing a community. Is that we can start like having conversations that matter, having conversations that um it'll really help us because like here I invited all my clients both online and in person, former clients, people who did like some of my challenges, people who did some of my programs. And the thing is, like, even my current clients, I feel like we don't talk enough because it's humanly impossible. But I love to have that sense of community. So I want everybody together and having the same conversations. And also one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I see the same problem over and over and over, repeating on different people. That's why I'm putting my gym together. God willing, this year we're gonna have a space for training that's gonna be groundbreaking. It's gonna change the game in the fitness world for women, for us women. But also wanted to start having these conversations. And we're gonna start with a topic. I'm not gonna lie. I asked ChatGPT to help me with the topic because I have so many things I want to talk about. Like I need help with finding out what would be the first one. And he helped me, which I honestly think was a great choice. Talking about, a problem that a lot of us faced at least once in a lifetime. Jessica, mwah, which is I'm doing all the right things. I'm working out okay. I'm training okay. I'm dieting okay, and I still don't see results. But before that, have you seen this? Get ready because this will be for sale soon. Today I walked into the gym and a friend of mine, is like, "Oh, AI Amanda." I'm like, "Not AI. This is Amanda." But I digress. I love this. So, talking about that topic, like, what are the things that happen to us that we do all the right things but don't see results? And before we get down into the nitty-gritty, if you have any questions, I have the chat open here. Please send them in the chat. I'm going to keep your mics all mute, okay? Send questions in the chat. I will open for Q&A at the end, not at the end, but at halftime. This is a, a two-time game. We're going to do 30 minutes of a lecture. I'm going to be talking to you. And the last 30 minutes, we're going to open for Q&A about the topic or about anything else you ladies would like to talk about. My clients, if you have any questions about the program, exercise, whatever. If you want to ask about my love life, I'm not going to disclose this in here. That's for private sessions only. But yeah, we can talk about anything. It's going to be my pleasure. Deal? Let's go. 8:05. Let's go. So, the thing we were talking about. Can you hear me okay? Hello. We're talking about if I'm doing all the right things and I don't see results. Like I have a lot of my clients who recently signed in, who are very active, former athletes, uh, who are doing all the right things, who have been doing the right things for, let's say, the past 10 years, but they seeing their physiques drop. They're seeing the performance drop. They're seeing the like all the things that used to work for them not work anymore. That's quite common. And we can talk about so many aspects of this, but I'm going to talk about three pillars. Pillar number 1 is you're under eating and okay, just you're under eating. Let's leave it that way. Pillar number 2, you're overtraining. Let's keep it that way. Pillar number 3, hormones, stress, and lack of sleep. Because a lot of times we think, and I actually experienced that with one of my clients right now, I've reduced so much her activity and increased her food intake, and she's having results. And why is that? And I'm going to talk about here, like mostly for women over, let's say, over 35. Of course, that age is different. Like some people at 35 have a fairly young metabolism, some people at 35 have a fairly old metabolism. So let's say 35 and over, um, they've been training really hard and dieting really hard, not getting results. And the aspect of that is under eating. So let's talk about topic number 1. Under eating, what happens with that? Back when we were growing up, us 80s kids, or even some of the younger girls, or some of my 70s babies, 60s babies, we were raised with the mentality of like, if I want to lose weight, all I need to do is diet for about a week. I'm gonna lose about 2 to 5 pounds, and it's gonna be okay, right? I think we've all been through that. I've certainly done so many diets like that, and I still do. And that's, I think, what differentiates me from most clients, most coaches out there, because I don't lie to you and I don't do BS. I do crush diets still. Gabby Forward, sorry guys, Gabby Forward, you need to copy and paste the link. It's not clickable. Instagram doesn't let you click. You need to copy, put on a browser and paste, okay? But next time, if you want to join the list, send me a DM with your email because I'll send you the email with the link. So I'm not saying I'm against crash diets. I think crash diets or extremely low calorie diets, they have their place, they have their use, but not all the time. Because what happens if you keep eating very, very little calorie constantly, if you're constantly eating low calories, you're gonna fry your system down. If all the time, if that's your default, you're eating very much below your basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate is basically how many calories you need to survive. Your body's gonna keep frying, and your body's gonna keep underperforming and leaving aside things that are not essential for your survival, which fat loss is not essential for your survival. Muscle building is not essential for your survival. What's essential for your survival is breathing, your heart beating, your brain functioning, digestion. It's all the things that happen in our body without us having to think. Basically, the parasympathetic system. What we don't have to think, what we don't have to actively chase, that's essential for your body. You don't have to think about, oh, how can I make my heartbeat better? It just happens. So if you're constantly under eating, your body's gonna keep shutting down and down and down more. And that's why it's so counterintuitive that most of us, because I'm including myself in that, had I not worked in this industry and been studying and taking care of my body for the past 20 years, I'll do the same because it's not just common sense. We try to undereat in order to lose weight. But every time, and that happens because a lot of you are already coming from a perspective, you're already stressed, you're already like fried, you're already depleted, and then you're not losing weight. And what do you do? Oh, dear Lord, I need to lose 10 pounds by summertime, and that's 2 months away. What am I going to do? I'm just going to eat salads. I'm just gonna keep eating salads and training fasted, and I'm gonna do more, eat less, and everything's gonna be okay because that's what used to work when I was 20 years old. Guess what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. Our bodies change. When you're 20, most of us, if you're an average healthy 20-year-old woman, guy too, guys are even more so. You don't need to do much to lose weight unless you're already pre-obese, you're fighting your hormone changes, you have something happening. But normally at 20-year-old, doesn't have that issue. She can eat French fries for breakfast. And if she goes on a treadmill for about 30 minutes and do 2 lifting sessions a week, she's going to lose weight and put muscle mass. Who did those rules? Who built it that way? Talk to God. It's not my fault. I didn't build the rules. I just learned how to play the game. And so should you. Stop trying to fight God. That's how it is. We can talk to him after we get to heaven. Who's going to heaven? I am. But so yeah, I like to crack some jokes. So that's it. So, and of course, I'm gonna talk about all the problems, okay? And at the end, I'm gonna talk about solutions. So stick around. So I have to run because I didn't realize time goes by so fast. I thought 30 minutes was gonna be a lot of time to talk, but it's not. I have so much to say. So, problem number one, you're under eating. Write that down because we're going to talk about it later. Problem number two, you're overtraining. Is the same mindset, is the same mentality. If you need to lose weight, what do? Oh, I'm going to start doing more cardio. I'm going to start running. I'm going to start taking classes. I'm going to train for a marathon. I'm going to buy a Peloton bike and just put it as a hanger on my room and never use it. Just kidding. But you're not completely wrong about doing more. So when we talk about losing weight or building weight, it's think about how do you call it? A seesaw, right? It goes up and down. If you eat more and burn less, you're gonna gain weight. If you burn more and eat less, you're gonna lose weight. Your macro split is gonna determine if that weight gain or loss is gonna come from muscles or from fat, right? So if you think about, I need to lose weight, therefore I need to do more. So I need to tip the seesaw towards burning more calories, towards spending more energy, towards being more active. That's absolutely correct. I forgot to put something here. I'm so sorry. Let's see if this works. We really don't need that next time. So you're right from that standpoint that you need to burn more calories, but the way you're doing it, most of the times it's wrong. Well, if you're not seeing results, then it's definitely wrong. If it was correct, you would be seeing results. But what happens is most of us, when you think about, I need to lose 10 pounds, or I've put 15 pounds over the last 10 years, that would be not that bad, if it was over the course of time, but still, we don't need to be walking around with 15 pounds. And you're just trying to do more cardio. Most of us, what they would do, they would start running, which I have my critics towards running anyway. We can talk about this in a second. But what happens with running not only is horrible for your joints, the type of running that most people do, is you're burning muscles. The type of running that you do, you are burning your muscle mass because you're not sprinting. I can guarantee you that most women over 35 who are trying to lose weight, they're not sprinting. And if they're sprinting at a very low capacity, which is barely a sprint. So what you're doing, like if you're talking about zones, and that language is very common. If you're talking about zones and you're trying to go from zone 3 to 4, the most amount, the most fuel that you're using to sustain that activity is muscle mass. You will have a little bit of fat burning. You will have a little bit of fat as fuel for that activity, but you'll be burning through a lot of your muscles. And what happens when you lower your muscle mass? When you lose your muscle, you decrease your basal metabolic rate once again. You keep burning your muscles, which in all reality you're trying to build muscle so you can be leaner. But when you're running, you're doing that excessive cardio training, you're losing muscle. Another thing that happens that I see that's very often, a lot of women, the ones who, thank goodness, are already into strength training, they are training so intensely that is almost detrimental to their body because it's all the time. I don't have a problem with intensity. I think intensity is amazing and it does need to be intense. That's what we call getting your muscles to a muscle fatigue, getting your muscles to muscle failure. That's how you break down the muscle fibers. That's how you rebuild them later. And hypertrophy means your muscles are getting bigger, No, that's what we want. I know some of you are scared. I don't want to get bigger. You're not getting bigger. Your muscles are. Your fat's getting lower, your muscles getting bigger. So if your fat's here, use my head as a measurement. If your fat's here and your muscles are here, you're gonna lower your fat. You're gonna increase your muscle to here. So it'll be smaller, but more muscular. It's the magic of muscles. That's what we want. That's what we all want. More muscles, less body fat, more deliciousness. So, some women who aren't to strength training, I can see Chris is like smiling. I love that smirk. Like, I love that. But so you're training so intensely, and by that I mean day after day after day. So you do strength training, and then you do a class, and then you do Pilates, and then you do strength training again, and then you do a class in boxing and yoga and Pilates and a race and high rocks and all that. Like I understand. I honestly believe if you've been around me, our bodies were meant to move. I honestly believe that I'm in constant movement, not just because I love it, because it's my profession, but even when I'm not working, I'm moving, I'm dancing, I'm going up and down, I'm walking. But there's levels to this. You cannot be constantly pushing your body to the limit and expect it to behave accordingly. Our bodies need the intensity and the stress to break down the muscle fibers, but also to mobilize the free fatty acids, the fat cells in our body. But it needs downtime and it needs recovery in order to build and expel those fat cells. What happens is most of us, I'm actually going to start mingling that with topic number 3, which is stress, sleep, and hormones. Foxy, shut up. It's my doggy. She's a guard dog. Because when we are training so intensely like that, constantly and constantly, what happens is you're putting your body, which is already stressed, right? Who there, woman over 35 who's not stressed? I'll wait. We're all under so much stress, whether you're single, uh, whether you're a mother, whether you are married, whether you are not a mom, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a stay-at-home housewife. We're all under stress because this is life. It's kind of how life runs right now. Unless you live in freaking Costa Rica by the ocean and you plant your own coconuts, I think you'd still have some sort of stress. But that's just it comes with age. We are hyper aware of things. We are constantly running. We're constantly trying to do everything. We're constantly trying to solve all world's problems, at least our world's problems, within a 24-hour span. That makes us stressed. That makes us with already a super high cortisol. And what you do on top of that, you're like, let me train hard 17 times a week because I need to lose weight. Let me go do strength training and cardio and ride a bike and hang out with my kids and be a soccer mom and swim and go do a dance class. I have absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you need to know how to dose. I tell my clients that all the time. I work with fitness. Fitness has been my life for the past 20 years. It's been my profession and my career for the past 10. And I don't do that much because I know the cost that it comes. I used to do that much when I was 20 something. My body could handle it. I would sleep 3 hours a night, go party, wake up, fasted cardio, sprint like a maniac, work out like crazy, barely eat. I was still building muscle. I was still lean. Had also binge eating disorder and severe body dysmorphia. But now, as a wise woman of almost 40 years of age, I learned how to do this better. I learned how to understand my body. I learned how to understand that sometimes, as much as the old me wants to just go like, wake up so early, go to the gym at 5 a.m. and do my fasted cardio, I understand when I will open my eyes, like, my body needs rest. So today, my rest is actually more beneficial and more profitable for my physique than going to the gym and burning calories. And that's the big step. And that's what I talked about. I think I talked about it on today's yes, I talked today on today's post about being your best expert on your body. You need to understand when your body really needs rest and when your body really needs a little extra push. And that comes with trial and error and a good coach to help you understand the signals, to help you understand what your body's trying to tell you. Because sometimes feeling tired, it just means quit being a little bit bleep and get to work. Sometimes feeling tired really means like you need to rest. You need to go back to bed and sleep. And it takes a little bit of trial and error for that, but it's good because nothing wrong can come from you trying and experimenting with your body, right? And now talking about the third, more the third aspect that really hits us and that hinders us and damages us when you're trying to lose weight, and we think we're doing everything wrong, is exactly that. It's lack of recovery, it's stress, and it's hormones. Because like it or not, amiga Jessica, like it or not, I heard a very bad data today that made me sad for about 1 second, and then it made me very happy about perimenopause. All my ladies out there who are, 35 and over, like I said, I'm 39. Our hormones are changing, like it or not. I just did a test today. It says on something that I'm gonna share with you guys tomorrow on my page. It says that my metabolic age is 29. I was so happy. Mm. I was so proud of myself. Doesn't change the fact that I'm also 39, though. It doesn't change the fact that my hormones are changing. It might delay my menopause. It might have a very easy and smooth transition into menopause. Doesn't mean my estrogen is not probably a little bit lower than it was when I was actually 29. Doesn't mean that my testosterone levels are probably not a little lower. And that comes, and we're not talking about HRT here, even though I completely support if you want to do it. I think everyone should have access to it and should do it if she chooses to have access to a great doctor. But hormones are a great deal. There's no, we can talk about how naturally make sure your hormones are optimized. Absolutely. And that comes with strength training, that comes with low stress life, that comes with whole food nutrition, that comes with a high protein diet, that comes with all those beautiful things. And as we age and something so beautiful happens that you start giving less fucks. It's the best. If 40 feels like that, I honestly can't wait to be 50 because it's gonna be like a huge, I don't give a, try not to cuss, try to cuss less a little bit. But it's true because nothing really expresses that word. There's no substitute for this word, right? That with the intensity that it brings. But so those are the big killers. You are probably under eating, especially when you're talking about protein, especially when you're talking about micronutrient and just overall minerals and diversity of nutrients. You are overtraining, overdoing, overstressing your body, and you're not recovering. Your sleep is horrible. Your stress is constantly, it's a chronic stress, probably, and your hormones are changing. What can we do to offset all those things? For problem number one, under eating, duh, you have to eat better, but not just better, probably a little bit more, which I know it comes with a lot of resistance for most of my girls. When I send them their diets, they're like, "Ah, I'm eating so much more." Well, first of all, let's be real. Most of us underestimate what we eat. If you're not really tracking, or if you haven't tracked in a while, most of us underestimate how much we eat and we overestimate how many calories we burn when we're training, right? How many of you have used a smartwatch or an Oura ring or something like that, a device that tracks your calories? And you're like, this is the message I get the most from my clients. They're like, I, I only burn 150 calories during 1 hour of training. That's wrong. I'm like, nope, that's about right. You could increase that. You could go more intense, but that's about right. We really don't burn that many calories more. And strength training, you don't do strength training to burn calories. You do strength training to build muscle. If you want to burn calories, go run. But once again, oh, what was I going to say about running? Running fucks your joints. Stop running. That's all I'm going to say. We can talk about it on the Q&A if you have more questions. But Chris is giving me the naughty smile. I love it. Ah, Max, so nice to see you too, my friend. So yeah, so solution for problem number one under eating is not just necessarily eating more, but it's eating right. Most of us, some of us are actually, They are somewhat eating the right amount of calories, but the completely messed up macronutrient balance. What am I looking for? I told you I was going to give you practical answers, right? So if you are trying to build muscle, if you're over 35, you're a woman. If you're a guy, hit me up later. I'll send you the details, okay, if you want to hear about that. But if you're a woman over 35, even over 30, and you're trying to build muscle and you can't, and you think you're doing everything right, I invite you and I challenge you to track your macros and see how much protein are you actually eating. Because I guarantee you, very, very few of you are probably eating 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight. Not the body weight that you have right now, ideal body weight. So I just measured it. I think I'm 152. I think I'm 152 pounds. My goal is to step on stage in 8 weeks at 139, 140 ish. So I should be eating at least 140 grams of protein. 140 grams of protein. Some of you who are on the heavier aspect of it and you're trying, let's say you're 200, 200 something pounds and you're trying to get to down to 150, you should be eating 150 pounds of protein. If you're underweight and you're trying to put some muscle, let's say you're eating 120 pounds on a very I'm using this word for lack of a better word. I'm Brazilian. I have constant forgiveness for use of incorrect words. But if you're very scrawny, is that how you say very frail, and you're trying to put on muscle mass, I would say even shoot it for the moon, shoot on the higher end. Like maybe do, and you're 20 and you're trying to put on 10 pounds of muscle. Maybe you should be eating at least 130 grams of protein, but aim for 135, 140. There is no problem. There's nothing wrong. Studies show there's absolutely nothing wrong that comes with overeating protein. You cannot um, do harm your body. Oh, but my liver. Oh, but my this, my this. There's no studies that show the proof. What happens is most people, when they do those studies, is they associate high protein intake with a bunch of rubbish. So you say some people who just eat a lot of protein in burgers. So they associate the damage to the burger, but they discard the fact that they're eating high processed carbs from the breads and oils from the fries, even though I do love fries, but that's an issue. So there's no problem that comes, according to science so far, that comes from eating high protein diets. That's for the vast majority of individuals. Must I say, this is not a nutritional recommendation. This is not medical advice. I'm not a medical. I'm a professional trainer. I have my degree in physical education back from University of Brasilia. But this we're just chatting here. There's no professional advice. We're just having a chat. I should have said that at the beginning. Also, another thing that I'd like to say is science changes all the time. You guys follow the media, you see that, eggs were bad, eggs were good, butter was bad, butter is good. So it's really important to understand that you get all the data, and that's one of my best features as a coach. You get all the data, and what you need to try to do is you need to try to apply to your life. You have two correct data, two correct scientific studies that are diverting. They are completely opposites. They're both correct, but that doesn't mean they both should be applied at the same time. Like 2 + 2 = 4, but also 1 + 3 = 4. So you just need to understand how to interpret the data, apply to your case, and see what works best for you. Okay, so that's solution for problem number one. Eat more protein, give your body a little more fuel, because only this way you're going to make your body get out of the emergency mode. If you're under eating constantly, your body's constantly thinking, that woman is insane. She's not giving me any fuel. I'm going to save as much as I can because I don't know when she's going to feed me again. And when she feeds me a bunch of crap. So give your body some food, preferably whole foods, preferably foods you're cooking yourself. Deposit some time to you, deposit some love into cooking your own food. Eat high protein, eat steak, fish, um, poultry, pork, whatever you want to eat. Eggs, eat yogurt, cheese, eat dairy. Dairy is not bad for vast majority of people. Problem is not dairy. The problem is your body's been so used to shit, it can't handle real dairy. But real dairy does, most people are not really lactose intolerant. Same way that most people are not really gluten sensitive. It's just our microbiome is a little messed up. But I digress. Problem number two, you're training too hard, you're training excessively. Once again, solution is easy but not simple. Well, it's simple but not easy. You need to train a little bit better. And what I say by better, you need to be strategic with your training. Before, when I was in my 20s, even up to my early 30s, mid 30s, I would say, I was trained like 6 times a week, like a maniac. Not only I don't have the time to do that anymore because of running a business, I my muscles hurt more now, so I need more time recovering. But also because I've put on those years of training, my body really doesn't need that much. My dog wants a ball. She's gonna have to wait, Flexi. So you just need to be smart in training more strategically. So each session, make each session like really work. Give your all in that session. On that session, push really hard, but then recover. Then come home and rest. Don't go home and try to change the world. Also, another great tip that I can give and that I do with all my personal training clients is stretch after the session. Do some foam rolling. It takes literally 5 minutes. Stretch. When you're doing that, you're taking your body from a system that it's like fight, 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 break, destroy, and you're bringing your body to like, I can chill right now. I can relax. I can start repairing mode. And that's such a great benefit, not just physiologically for your body, but mentally. For your brain understands, like, oh, stress is done. Because what happens with us, once again, interrupt me if I'm wrong, but I know I won't be. Most of us are cooking our breakfast while we're replying to messages, while we're screaming at kids, while we're trying to clean dogs' poopies, while we're trying to think about our outfit of the day, while we're trying to think about the response to that email that I forgot to send yesterday. Aren't we all trying to do a gazillion things at the same time? And how's that working for us? It's driving us mad, insane. And I understand. I don't want anybody to quit their lives or jobs because of that, because I understand we have to do all those things, just how life is today. I mean, we do have an option. I hate to sound like we don't have an option. We all have an option. Stop everything, go live in the middle of the woods. That's an option. But hey, wait, she's so spoiled. My fault. But what I want you to do is I want you to give yourself some time to rest and repair. And it doesn't have to be a 2 hour meditation. Hey Sandy, it can be as little as a 5 minute. You can do a little stretch at the end of the session. You can do a little breathing exercise. You can take 5 deep breaths, and that changes completely your system from the sympathetic, destroy, break, to a parasympathetic of rest and repair. Love you, my beautiful diva. Makes sense? So not only you're training more strategically, you're training less frequency most of the times, but you're also shutting down your brake system faster, meaning you're getting to rest and repair faster. Got it? Number three, stress, sleep, hormones. Hormones, what you can do, get measured, no, get to know your levels. Get yourself a great doctor. There's a lot of systems that do online, and if you need help, I have contact with several like naturopath doctors, real like OBGYN doctors. I have contacts with a lot of like I'm building my network of amazing people that I trust their work that I can put you in contact. No, it's not a referral. It's not, I'm not paid for that. It's just I want you to thrive. And that's for all of you guys out there here. You need a good doctor that is gonna look at your exams and see like, oh, I want my levels optimized. I don't need to be normal and I don't need to be out of danger zone. No, I need to be optimal. I want to function at my best capacity. That's one. Stress, I said the stress that comes from the training. I told you how to solve that. But what about we do the stress that we have in life? How do we solve that? Baby girls and baby boys, that's the million-dollar question. How can you get less stress? The thing is, a lot of the times we don't have control over the things that causes us stress, but you do have 100% of control how you react to the stress causers. So you're in the middle of traffic, somebody hits your car, what are you gonna do? You can go crazy, you can go maniac, you can Start cussing and puffing, which, I understood if you did that, give yourself 3, 5 minutes to do that. But then get your shiz together, control yourself. Don't let your body and your responses be so reactive to what happens in the world because at the end of the day, you have 100% of control of how you react to things. Take deep breaths. Understand that letting things escalate and just being mad and stressed all the time helps in zero. So, stress response, your kids are acting up, they're going crazy, you're going through a divorce. I went through that. You're going through a divorce, you can choose to let stress ruin your life, or you can choose to take deep breaths, take day by day, understand that things get worse before they get better, understand that life is cyclical, that we're always going to have good and bad things happen at the same time constantly. So it's a choice on what do you focus on, what do you pay attention to, and what do you let rule your life. It's 100% your choice. So you're under constant stress, you either need to change the things you're reacting to, change how you're reacting to, or change the circumstances in your life. Because if you're miserable all the time, means you're doing some bad choices and you can change things. I'm not saying get a divorce, please. I'm not endorsing divorce. I'm endorsing work on your marriage because being married is amazing. Having a life partner is amazing. That's a blessing from God. But I'm saying is if you're facing difficulties in life per your choices, maybe it's time for you to do better choices and understand that you are in control. A silly example. Uh, okay. I love peanut butter, love almond butter, love all those things. I ate so much of those that I think I developed some sort of intolerance. So I could keep buying peanut butter and having gut issues after eating 2 tablespoons constantly and be complaining like, oh, I don't feel good. Or I could just stop buying peanut butter and take a hold of my choices and a hold of in control of my decisions. Like, if peanut butter is hurting me, why would I keep doing that? It's a silly example, but it's exactly what it means in life. If you're constantly late and that makes you stressed, wake up earlier. If you're constantly trying to find things around the house and that causes you stress, be more organized. Hire somebody to help you. Little things like that. Sleep. What we need to fix sleep? Sleep hygiene. Most of us are also not sleepy. I'm so blessed by God. I lay my head on the pillow and 99 times out of 100, I sleep and within 5 minutes. I don't think I think it's because first I'm super tired from the day because I started today at 5:30 and I haven't stopped until now and I won't stop after this. So it's a blessing to be busy, but also I'm trying not to be very spiritual here, but I'm a spiritual person, so it's really hard not to. But I think when you surrender things to God, it's just you have peace of mind and you can just rest. Because I know there's nothing I can do to change. Overthinking things is not going to help in anything. I just need to sleep, and understand. And trust me, I really don't like sleeping. I understand the importance that it has, and I try to get from 5 to 7 hours a night. Um, but if I could, I would just stay up all night doing things because I love doing things. But I understand the power of it, and I just surrender and I rest and I just lay my eyes and I don't and I say that I don't like sleeping, but I hate waking up because I usually have my doggy next to me and we're cuddly and it's so nice and I just want to stay there. But then I have to wake up because I have stuff to do. Sleep hygiene, if possible. No electronics an hour before bed. Don't eat 2 to 3 hours before bed. Go for a quick walk by the end of the day. We function a lot according to circadian rhythm, meaning the sunlight. So now that we doing daylight savings and the sun is setting like around 7:30 around here, at least on the East Coast. I don't know how the rest of the world is, East Coast of the US. We tend to feel a little sleepier later in the day, and that's okay because the day also starts a little later. So if you can, try to be exposed to sunlight naturally, not blue lights. Try to go for a quick walk, like I said, at the end of the day. Don't try not to, be too much on social media or electronics before bedtime because that not only like the light disturbs you, even if you use those glasses, but Also keeps your mind like wondering, like buffering, like buffering at your mind when you're close to bedtime and you're constantly thinking, oh, but so and so on that vacation, that's the recipe I need to train in, and my email, like we don't need all that information in our minds. Let go. Did I say about everything? I think I said about everything. I could keep going on and on and on, but I'm just gonna shut my mouth, hydrate, and open for some questions if you guys have. And remember, it can be about this topic, it can be about something else. While you do that, let me get my dog's ball before she goes manic. I'll be right here. So if you want to ask questions, put on the chat or unmute yourself and ask questions. You have 30 seconds. Whee! I'm back. Come here, Flexi. Come say hi. Vem cá. Vem cá. Aqui. Come. Hi, baby. Fabienne, my love. Fabienne, a round of applause for Fabienne because she's been losing how much, my love? 30, 40 pounds, 50 pounds in the past year. She's doing so good. How do you feel about doing HIIT training for menopausal women? I think it's amazing, and I'll tell you how to do it. Give me 1 second. Should I ask for their sponsor? I'm gonna ask for their sponsor. So HIIT training for menopausal women. I think it's amazing for several reasons. One, HIIT training is really good for heart health. It's really good for cardiovascular capacity. It's really good to mobilize visceral fat, which we need. And sometimes we have that stubborn fat, that fat that's like under stubborn fat. It's amazing for that. The whole thing is like it's hard doing it HIIT training as it should be because we do have, let's say, some joint limitations, right? I just told you guys about like how I used to sprint a flexi. Hey, hey, how you para, minha filha. How I used to sprint so much when I was younger. I used to sprint literally every day. This used to be my morning routine. Wake up, go to the gym, not drink water. I didn't used to drink water because cycle here. I wanted to do my cardio, sweat, and then wait myself after the sweat. Flexi, you can play, don't but be quiet. Play in silence. So my whole cardio was warm up for 5 minutes. Was that? Yeah, warm up for 5 minutes. Then I did 10 sprints of 20 seconds, followed by 10-second rest. And my sprints, I started, if you're talking about miles per hour, I would start at 8 and go up to 12. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like it was insane. And then chill out, cool down for about like 2 to 3 minutes. It was super intense. Can I do this today? I can do a few sprints. I actually just did yesterday. My hamstrings are so sore from it because I haven't sprinted in a while. I must have done about, mm, I think I did 10, 11, 12, 13. I think I did like 4 or 5 sprints. I didn't time it. I tried to hit max, which wasn't much. It was like 15, maybe 20 seconds, and I rested for longer. No joint issues, no pain. Just my hamstrings are, like I said, are fried from it because you use a lot of hamstring to do the kickback of the run. But I'll tell you this, it's something I wouldn't be able to do every day because my joints wouldn't recover fast enough. Second, it's just not optimal. Once again, back to the problem number three, actually, lots of stress on the body. We don't need that amount of stress all the time. So what I would recommend, Fabian, is like two, maximum three high intensity interval training sessions per week, or at least one. I would say from 1 to 3, because not every week your body's going to be ready for it. And you need to feel like kind of like when you're stepping on a squat rack to do a squat. Some days your knees are okay with it. Some days your knees are not. Some days your hips are okay with it. Some days your hips are not. And that just goes from inflammation. Some days we're just naturally more inflamed. It can be from something you ate. It can be from like something you're fighting, like a virus or something. You just need to respect your body. Some days I can do heavy squats. Some days I can't. And it's okay. I don't need to be my 100% all the time. So talking about the hit training. And the one thing that it's thank you, NL phone. I don't know who you are, but thank you so much. Put your names just so I can say bye. Um, so how I recommend hit, and I think I put that on your program, Fabian. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I put it. I personally love doing incline running because I think it's so gentle on the joints. And how you do it is you go 15% incline because it's super steep, and you start running like around, for most women, like around 4 miles per hour. It's a very gentle run, but because you're like going uphill, it's so intense on the heart and on the muscles. Like if you do that for 40 seconds, you are done. And that's just like one quick way of doing it. But if you put that, hi Carrie, if you put that on a blueprint, what you would like to do is warm up. Like first of all, make sure your body's super warm, like your joints, your muscles, everything is super ready for it. Maybe even do like a regular cardio. Rose, send me a DM, my love. EV Rose and Tall. Send me a DM for sure. We'll talk. So make sure your body is super warm for that. Second, what I want you to do is I want you to go super high intense on any activity. It can be an assault bike. Assault bike is usually one of the things that's more gentle on the joints, and it's like a full body. It's extremely hard. It can be on a rowing machine. It can be on a regular bike. It can be on the rope, a battle rope. It can be doing burpees, even though I'll be canceled just for saying that because no, who likes burpees? But it can be doing anything as long as you take it to the intensity, and there's really not a time frame. Ideally, you'd be doing that for maximum 30 seconds. If you can do for longer than 30 seconds, just means you're not going intense enough. If you have an exertion rate, we have a scale that is like perception of exertion, of effort from 0 to 10. You would be on the 9 or 10. So if you're on an 8 or a 7, you'll be able to do that for more than 30 seconds. That's not really high intensity interval training. You want to be like literally fighting for your life to the point that after that, it takes you about 2 to 3 minutes to recover. So even when I was telling you about my example of sprinting that I used to do when I was younger, and do every now and then, it wasn't a true high intensity interval training because I took 10 seconds to recover, and that's just not, it just means it wasn't intense enough, right? Now the one I did yesterday, it took me about 40 to 50 seconds to recover, sometimes 1 minute. So that means I'm tipping more towards my true depletion of effort. Did I respond everything okay? I think I got it all covered. And you can do that at the end of a session, or you can do that on a separate day of training. Maybe a separate day just to do that. Because, like I said, you need to be really warm. So maybe do at least 10 to 15 to 20 minutes to prepare your body for that. And then you do the high intensity, which should take you another 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how many sets can you get. Usually, I would say at least 5 rounds of that. At least 5 rounds are like super high intense, and then you can cool down for about another 5 to 10 minutes. Um, I guess that's it. That's it. Let me see if we have any more questions. You're welcome, my love. Always a pleasure. Must feel so good. Anybody has any more questions? This has been so cool. I want to do this every day. I have so much to share. Tá maravilhosa. Okay, guys, I think we're going to close it up then, right? So we're going to be having these, that, this, every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to receive, guys on Instagram, if you want to be part of the list, send me your emails via DM so I can send you the link. You can be part of the notifications. Girls on Zoom, thank you so much for showing up. You girls are amazing. Thank you for the questions, the participations. Also, not this week, but starting next week, I also have a surprise for you. We're also, and I probably said also like 15 times already, gonna start Zoom classes. I did that early in the beginning of the year. We started this program called We Lift, which is my gym. We're not gonna do the wheel lift just now, but I'm gonna start teaching you girls and guys who like to participate. We're gonna be doing some training together because I figured there's a lot also that we need to do, and some knowledge and just community. This is all about getting together and doing all fitness shenanigans. Okay, so make sure you jump on the list if you like to be notified of those things. Zoom classes are gonna be closed. I'm not gonna put them on Instagram, but questions every Tuesday, classes every Thursday, both at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much, everybody. Mm-mm. Have a beautiful, wonderful night. God bless you all. Mwah. Bye.